So I am running one jigging bait behind me, which I haven't brought in yet, and I've got one set line here with actually a big smelt on it. So I am running just a VMC jig head and a nice smelt on this one, and I watched the rod tip go, and this fish actually just crushed it. Set the hook, and it is coming up pretty quick. Gotta get this transducer out of here. Oh, this fish is coming up fast now. Barbless hooks, so I can't really give it anything here at all. See, we got a nice lake trout. Check that out. There we go. Nice little lake arthropod lake trout. Hooked him on the VMC Neon Moon Eye jig head with a nice little smelt. But check that out. He picked it up. It was just sitting just above bottom. And so this guy just came in and crushed it. I watched the tip of the rod bounce and just grabbed that set line and gave it a good set. And that's what we got. Check that guy out. Nice fat little lake trout. We're gonna get him right back here and catch some more. Well, I just set up the heater in here and just getting rigged back up. Just caught that one on the dead rig and just rigging another one up. A nice small smelt this late season. Just a small little VMC Moon Eye jig head. And we are gonna go straight to bottom with it and then raising it up about 3-4 inches, and that's what's working here today. Just takes a little while to get her to bottom in 83 feet of water, but the live scope right now is actually covered up with fish. There's probably 5-6 fish on the live scope right now, so you just can't get this down fast enough in that situation. I just got the heater set up behind me here. We've hooked a couple fish here today, so I'm gonna stick it out here for a while. Usually don't set everything up until I find the spot that we want to stick it out. So once we get this back down, I can still see like schools of them moving around here. It's pretty cool. I'll show you here once I get this bait to the bottom. So I'm just working the water column up and down still, and I just had one follow me up about 40 feet and then he backed off, so I'm dropping it back down. I'm gonna try to get past him and I'm gonna try to start working him right back up. I've actually got 4 or 5 lake trout on the bottom right now that are actually being pretty active, so start working this bait back up. See if we have any chasers. There he is. Got him. That fish chased me up. I don't know if it's the same one that I just missed, but this guy came in. I saw him on the live scope there and he crushed it. This is on the white tube. I still got my set line out there with the little smelt on it. But hey, that was fun. Saw him on the live scope. You can just barely see at this depth, but just enough to see that there was a fish chasing my bait. And yeah, here he is, coming right up. Oh, he's fighting good once he gets up higher, sees the daylight. There he goes, taking a bit of a run. Got my drag set pretty tight. If you notice, when you set your hook and you're peeling out drag, your drag's not tight enough for these fish. You need to have it tight enough that when you set your hook, you're not going to peel out some drag. So some situations that actually means you have to actually back off your drag according to the fish that you have on right afterwards. So this guy is just under the ice here. Oh, come on. He's actually just foul hooked. He's right on the side of his face, so it's making it difficult to get his head to turn up the hole. Just behind his pectoral fin. So he's actually pinned. You can see right down there. He's getting pinned on the ice because that hook isn't allowing him to turn his head up. There we go. Kind of pulling him up sideways here. I have to do it by hand. That's a weird way of hooking them, but lake trout chase and they strike. And there he is. Another nice little lake trout. We're gonna get him right back because he was hooked in the side. Oh, straight down he goes. See you later, buddy. All right, so that is on the white tube. Let's give it a dunk here. So that's on the white tube with the VMC treble underneath. I've got 2 ounces of weight in there, rigged with a split ring down to the VMC bladed treble. And that's what that fish tried to pick up anyways. He got a little foul hooked in the process, but hey, he still chased and tried to strike it anyways. So yeah, that's number 2. And yeah, we haven't been here too long, so we're gonna stick it out here. I set up the heater just because I'm marking so many fish here and they're active. I'm marking some fish all across the water column, so we're gonna keep fishing here for the rest of the day. But the snow catch is parked behind us, and yeah, just a great day so far. We've got 2 fish high in the water column right now, so I'm just dropping back past both of them. One of them is checking out the bait there, and now they're both going back down to the bottom. I'm gonna just keep working it up though. They might come up and chase still. Come on, buddy, hit it. He's chasing it. Oh, he followed me. Oh, he's still following. He turned. He is up 50 feet right now. 50 feet from the bottom. That fish chased me up. I was waiting for him to strike there, but he turned off. Another fish just came in and grabbed the set line here. He's coming right up. He actually chased my jig up, my tube jig, and then I just popped the set line and I was like, there's a little bit extra tension on there that shouldn't be. So I just grabbed it and set the hook, and yeah, here's another fish. Same thing, I gotta get this live scope out of there. It sucks that I'm using the live scope hole. It's nice to actually use the live scope to see where the fish is at in the water column when you're fishing such deep water. You know, especially when you hook up with a big one, they take these huge runs and they go down, you know, 30, 40 feet on a run sometimes, so you just kind of lose track of where you're at. But this one's not huge, but he's coming up good. But he hit that smelt on the VMC Moon Eye jig again. So he's almost out here. Into my leader. Here he is. He inhaled that also. He just gently hit that. Just a little guy, but man, I'm gonna have to get the pliers for this guy. He's way down there. He didn't even actually make that rod move. So that barbless just pulls right out. And yeah, just a little acre, smaller one, but hey, still a lot of fun running the 2 lines in the hut here. And that makes number 3 for the day so far. Get you right back. There he goes. And just like that, number 3, we're gonna rebait that up. You can see that one's all torn up, but just a small little smelt, and the VMC Neon Moon Eye in chartreuse and pink, and it's working great. I'm gonna switch that bait out because it's a little torn up. But yeah, hey, number 3, tons of fun. Baker's Narrows Lodge, Lake Athapap, just great fishing. So I keep calling it a set line, but it's actually just a dead stick bait sitting beside me. For some reason I keep calling it a set line, but it's actually not set. It's just literally a dead stick bait sitting beside me. So I'm just working both today. I don't normally do this, but yeah, I'm just rigging that smelt up like that on the VMC jig head and dropping it straight to bottom. It takes a little bit of time to get there, but hey, that is actually out fishing me with the tube jig right now. So we're gonna get this one back to bottom really quick because there are still fish underneath us. I just got back in the hut and I was actually putting the set line down, and I hooked up with a fish here, and he's coming up pretty quick. He was only at 15 feet down. I didn't even notice him until I started dropping, then he darted right in. I don't even have my other camera running. I just went for a little ride on the sled, and man, this fish was cruising at 20 feet and just came right in and hammered this this dead rig. But it was falling though. Check that out. Nice little acre. There we go. There's a little guy, high cruiser. He was cruising around 20 feet, and as I was putting that set line down, this guy just crushed it. So hey, check that out. That one's a lot darker color. I'm gonna get this one right back. But yeah, We'll see if we can get that line back to bottom again. There he goes. Get the live scope back down. That's so cool with the live scope. I could just see that fish just come right in and check that bait out as soon as he saw it heading to the bottom. All right, so the technique that I'm using here today, I've got one rigged up here, dead stick beside me, and it's sitting about 4 inches off bottom. I'm not doing anything with that other than just giving it a slight pop every once in a while, just to maybe, you know, change up the action, attract attention, and just make sure there's still my bait, the weight of my bait on there. So with the jigging rod, I'm dropping it straight to bottom. Once I connect with bottom, I'm gonna jig it up a few times, stir up the bottom, get that dirt and silt, stir it up a little bit. And if nothing's happening on the bottom, right away I just start working the water column. So I'm just giving it a pop and reeling up the slack as I go, and I'm working the whole water column from bottom to top like that. Sometimes I'll stop midway and then I'll drop back to bottom. Sometimes I'll go all the way to the surface and I'll drop back to bottom. If I have a fish chasing, I don't slow down. I keep the same rhythm going, or I even speed it up. Get him interested, get him enticed to hit that bait. So you just want him to start chasing it. If you slow it down on him, he's gonna get a good look at it, and he's gonna get to see that it's not what he's used to eating, and there's just something off about it, and he's not gonna strike. He's just gonna follow it and drop back to bottom, and then you're just gonna have him keep chasing you, and he's just never gonna hit it. It's kind of annoying because he'll just keep looking at it and chasing it, but won't strike it. So you want to keep it ahead of him, get him to chase it, get that reaction bite out of him. And you know, I've got 2 fish coming in on bottom right now, so I'm gonna drop back to bottom. You know, use your graph as a tool too. Like, you know, as you're working up the water column, if you see some fish swimming by on the bottom, drop straight to them, try to get them interacted with it and get them to chase it. Start working them up the water column, try to get them to strike, and just continually do that. So I'm just constantly working the water column. On a traditional graph, it actually will look like a set of stairs going up your graph. And then on the live scope, it's just like a slow pop and sit for a second, and then a slow pop, sit for a second. And you just want to keep that bait moving and work the whole water column. If you just jig the bottom all day for these lake trout, you know, you'll still catch some fish, but you're just missing out on a whole lot of other fish that you could be catching. There's fish moving across the whole water column, and you know, usually fish that are higher up in the water column are definitely more active, and they're more willing to strike. So work your bait accordingly. If you see a fish cruising up high, get your bait up to him right away, and then get him interested in it. Start working that bait away from him, get him to chase it. And you know, you see some fish on bottom, drop down to bottom, get him to chase it, start working it back up. But continually working your bait is definitely going to catch you more of these lake trout, and is probably the biggest tip I can give any fisherman who comes out here to try to target lake trout. Is definitely just work the bait all day long. Don't just let it sit still. You know, if you have to do something, definitely just bring it up, you know, 20-30 feet off bottom and let it sit there. This water's so clear, these fish can see really far away. And you know, if you're doing something in the hut, you know, you're tying up another line or whatever, maybe you'll see an arc coming right up to that set line, and then you can start working the bait away from them, drop whatever you're doing. And you know, that works sometimes too, but continually working the bait is definitely going to catch you more of these fish, keeps you productive. You know, it's a little less boring than sitting there watching a, you know, a dead stick line, or just sitting there, yeah, just holding the rod and being a rod holder. I mean, yeah, if you want to do that, just set up a rod holder, but you're definitely not going to catch as many fish as you would if you're working that whole water column and being active and jigging your bait and just using the whole water column to your advantage. This water is so clear, these fish can see baits from a pretty good distance away, so any sort of movement in the water column attracts them, and that really helps when you're in a stationary position such as ice fishing situation like this. It just helps kind of bring fish towards your area. I mean, you have to be on a key location that fish are going to be moving through, but you can definitely attract fish to your general area by using, you know, tube jigs and rattle baits, and just working that water column, getting that motion and the visibility for them, and that will definitely help you catch a lot more fish out here. All right, I got a fish chasing me up here. He's come all the way up from the bottom. Should strike this any second here. Oh, and he turned off. No, turned off at the last second. He's still chasing it. I'm up to 40 feet from 80 feet. I'm gonna drop it back down. He's chasing it down right now. Okay, I'm gonna work it back past him here. And he just keeps going to the bottom. Oh, I brought that fish all the way up from 80 feet. I was waiting for the strike, but he didn't strike. I'm gonna drop it past him again and then see if he's interested, and I'm gonna start working back up the water column, get him to chase it again. That fish was super aggressive. He followed it all the way up. He saw it, and I was 20 feet above him when he actually spotted the bait. So I just kind of slowed my retrieve down just so he could catch up a little bit. I didn't want to get too high in the water column so I have no room to play him. So I could see that he was interested in swimming straight up. So I slowed my retrieve down, let him caught up a little bit, but once he got within, you know, a few feet, then I kept moving that bait ahead of him and kept moving it. But I don't know why he didn't strike. That was kind of odd. I was waiting for that one, that's for sure. That set line just got hammered. I was jigging up the tube jig and that fish just came in and smoked my set line. Sitting right above bottom, I was marking 2 fish. This guy's just giving me a lot of little head shakes. Oh, it's taking a good run here now. Get that live scope out. Little bit heavier fish, not like the one that was just caught outside. That was a good fish. I'm not sure where I'm at in the water column. He's pulled that live scope and trying to keep him pinned with that barbless hook. See my leader here now. There we are. Just a little guy. Bought another nice lake trout from Lake Athapop here at Baker's Narrows Lodge. We're gonna get him right back. There he goes. That was just on the set line with the smelt and the VMC jig head. Well, not a bad day overall. Decent numbers of fish anyways. No giants for me, but that 37 right behind me was pretty cool. I'm gonna get packed up here and head on back to the lodge. We got a little bit of a sled ride and yeah, just a good day all around. So thanks for watching this video and we'll see you on the next one.